If you're a local listener, we want to give a quick shout out to a local business we're obsessed with. Mirror Magic Hair Design, located on McLaughlin Boulevard in Oregon City.
I always look forward to my next appointment with Andrea at Mirror Magic Hair Design. She's the owner, and not only is she incredibly personable and funny, she has poured herself into ensuring that Mirror Magic has nice decor, professional hair products, offers fantastic cuts and color, and ultimately that all of her clients are truly happy. They offer a wide array of services, so check them out. She does incredible work, and without a doubt, the amazing results always make my day.
Call to schedule at 503-650-0550. You can also find their contact info in our show notes. Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Cassie.
Hi, Professor Aubrey.
Well, hi there, Cassie. How are you?
We're good.
Good.
So we have a very special guest with us today from Friends Talking Nerdy. It is a podcast that we actually recently guested on for their spooky season episode. If you haven't listened to it yet, head over there right after this immediately. It is episode 216 called Season of the Witch.
That's right.
Which I loved that title. When I saw that, I was like, oh, it's perfect.
We always title the Friends Talking Nerdy shows that are not sort of special shows. The Saturday show is always going to be titled with the song lyric or title.
Oh, perfect.
That somehow relates to the whatever we talked about that week. So
I love that.
It's fun coming up with the names.
Oh, yeah. Is it hard sometimes?
Well, I don't actually do it. I'm the executive producer of our show. So I do more of the 50,000, mile look at what's going on with the show. And really, Tim implements all of the ideas and stuff. But he's very creative. So I think he really enjoys that process.
Perfect. Good team.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a very specific reason that we have invited you on the show today.
Really?
You have some ghost stories, I heard.
I have experienced paranormal phenomena in my life.
I love that. I am so excited to hear.
Okay. So, I would just start by saying I'm from East Tennessee, which is in the Appalachian Mountains, specifically the Southern Appalachians. And in the Southern Appalachians, we have a lot of what are called haints, Haints, which is the word that we have for ghosts.
Oh,
so
wow.
Haints are people's spirits that are still wandering the earth, usually because they were wronged. And, they're still trying to communicate with the world their sorrows. So I grew up in a culture that really had a social phenomenon about ghosts and lots of ghost stories. And so we were always telling ghost stories around the campfire and, just around the wood stove or whatever. So I kind of grew up with that idea implanted in my brain that there were spirits that were walking the earth. And we lived in a house when I was growing up from the time I was 8 until I was 18. And then I lived there several subsequent times in my young adulthood. And every time I lived there, it got more and more haunted.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Like it liked you.
No, because other people also lived there. So
Okay.
okay, so this house was weird. It was built in 1934 as a concrete block 3-room house with a basement.
Interesting.
So very basic, one floor, but because it was built in 1934, it had hardwood floors and it had moldings. And so it was like kind of nice, but it was made out of concrete blocks. So it was kind of like weird. And then over the years, it had been added on to by subsequent inhabitants. And so it had a wing that had 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. That was sort of my sister and I's wing of the house. And then it had another wing that had a master bedroom and a bathroom and a living room, in addition to the old original 3-room house.
Oh, wow.
So it was just a weird house in general, and had lots of, like, the layout gave itself to spookiness, I think.
Ooh, yeah.
You're all separated out.
Yeah, nobody's close to anybody. Yeah. You could easily be attacked by, one by one.
Oh, God.
Off by some kind of intruder or spooky ghost. So I was always scared of ghosts in this house. I always felt like from the time I was 8 that there were ghosts in this house. And I came up with a way as an 8-year-old that you can protect yourself from ghosts if you ever find yourself in a situation where you think that you're in a haunted location. You just have to, here's what you do. You just have to have something between you and the air. You can't be exposed. Your skin can't be exposed. If your skin is exposed, the ghosts can come and talk to you and interact with you and maybe do something bad to you. But anyway, it's spooky, even if they're just coming to talk to you. So you don't want that to happen. So you just have to cover yourself entirely with a sheet or a blanket. Yep. And then the ghost can't. And then it's fine. And this was the only way that I could go to sleep.
Oh my God.
When I was a kid. And creepy things would happen. Like there was this noise that sounded like metal scraping, like more like this. Like a scraping noise in the middle of the night.
I'm not good with that.
No, I don't like it.
Yes, very scary. And we looked for it. We would hear it and we would look to try to figure out what it was. And we were never able to discover what was making the spooky noise.
Ooh.
Until many years later. And I'll tell you when I get to those years what it was.
Okay.
Oh,
where was it coming from?
The basement.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
It has to be the basement.
Yes. And this place had a very scary, unfinished cinder block basement. Okay. So I'm getting older, and my sister and I really wanted to play with a Ouija board. I don't know where we got this idea, but my grandmother said, don't play with the Ouija board because the haints will definitely get you if you do. But we got one at a yard sale for like 50 cents.
No.
I'm surprised it wasn't cheaper. They were trying to get rid of it.
And because it came from a yard sale, it's like 100% more likely to be haunted.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right. It's already been used by some spirits, some unknown people.
And why are they wanting to sell it?
Exactly. What did it do to them? But we were excited, and I was probably 14 and my sister was 16. And my parents got really, really upset. And they said, you can't have that in the house, and you cannot use that in this house. And so we would go to the local college and use it just on the grounds of the college, because that was kind of the closest park to our house. It was just a couple of blocks away. So we would just pop over there and do the Ouija board and then pop back. And the more we did it, the more creepy noises and sort of the feeling of being watched, or that feeling that you get when somebody is looking at you.
Yes,
Like
it's your lizard brain. There's a part of your like biology that tells you when there's someone else near or something looking at you.
Yeah, it's like that prey response. Like you're the rat and the eagle has spotted you and that right?
Yeah.
So those kinds of things would happen. And so we had to keep it in the house. And so we kept it in this room in the house, hidden in a closet in what was my mother's art studio. So one of the 3 rooms of the old original house was my mother's art studio and her walk-in closet. So she had all of her clothes and shoes and fabulousness in this room and her art. She was a painter. She's still a painter. Just not in my house anymore. And so we hid it in a closet in that room.
Ooh, good call. Or not. I don't know.
Did your mom know it was in there?
No, nobody knew it was in there. So fast forward, I turn 18. I immediately get out of this house. It was like the thing I wanted to do the most was not live in this house anymore. So I moved out of my parents' house. And then my parents, while I was going to college, decided to build a different house out in the country. So they did that. And then they still have this weird house in town. And like they talked to a realtor who was like not sure how to market it. And they just ended up not needing the money for it, I guess. And so they were just like, we just have this extra house now.
Good problem to have.
It was so great for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like 21, totally screwing my life up in a myriad ways. And whenever I would like not have the rent or lose my job, I would just move back into this vacant, spooky, haunted house.
Oh my gosh.
A selling point these days.
Well, for you guys, maybe.
I'd buy it.
Sold, Cassie says.
So we called it the home for lost daughters because my sister and I, whenever we would like be hard up, we would go live there. And then other members of the family were like, hey, that's pretty cool. There's just an extra empty house. So my cousin lived in it for a while and my uncle lived in it for a while. And as we grew older, all of our experiences in the house got creepier and creepier. So when I was living there, I actually had the experience. I was probably 22 and I was laying in bed and I hear the front door of the house open.
No.
And close.
Nope.
And then I hear footsteps across the living room. And I was like, holy shit, there's an invader. So I had an aluminum baseball bat because that's what you do when you're a woman and you live alone, unfortunately. And I grabbed the baseball bat and went to my bedroom door that connected to the living room where I heard the footsteps, gathered my courage to open the door really fast, turn on the light, and attack whoever was there. Like I was dead serious.
Yeah.
Opened the door, turned on the light. The door was closed. There was no one there. The door was locked. The front door only had a skeleton key lock.
Oh,
so even creepier.
Yeah. So you had to keep the key in the lock. And I don't know if you've ever seen this in a creepy movie, but that like the key is like starts moving and then it like comes out and it falls down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, that never happened, but it felt like it was about to happen all the time.
Oh my gosh.
And then this one time I was in bed and I had a very fluffy down comforter and I had been burning some candles like you do. And I had, blown them out probably a half hour before then I sort of smell smoke. And I look up and my bed is on fire. Because that down comforter was so insulating, I didn't feel the heat until there were actual flames.
Oh my God.
And so I, jump up and I, do the thing where you use the blanket on the blanket, put out the fire, and then I got water and I poured it all over my bedroom. But I think the ghost did that.
Correct.
How else would that have happened?
I mean, it had been a half an hour. Like I would get if it had been recently, that candle was on, but the candle was cold. The bed was on fire.
Oh my gosh.
And so I decided then I was going to move out of that house and I was never going to live there again. And I did that. And I moved to Portland, Oregon from that house. Relatively quickly after that, maybe 6 months after that happened. And I haven't been haunted since, except I have been haunted a little bit since. Ooh. But I was smart enough to move away much more quickly. Yeah, but I have been haunted in an apartment in Portland as well.
Ooh. Okay. What happened there?
Okay, so you would think that somebody who had the experience that I've described to you involving a Ouija board would stay away from Ouija boards for the rest of their life, right?
You would think.
Oh, but you didn't, did you?
Once again, the yard sale strikes. And, it was a lovely Portland spring afternoon. And I was with my girlfriend and we were going from yard sale to yard sale like you do, I haven't done it. I haven't done it in so long. Like that is actually something I enjoy doing that I haven't done during the pandemic, that I haven't thought about, that I haven't done during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So
privileges revoked.
We're doing that, shopping at yard sale shopping. And there's a Ouija board for like 50 cents. And we were like, oh my God, that's so funny. We should buy that. And then we and our friends, and it can be funny. And it's like I completely forgot about my prior experience with the ghosts.
Yeah.
Because it didn't even occur to me that this was a bad idea.
You just blocked it out.
I think that I did, because I remembered many of the details. I mean, I definitely knew about the bed being on fire and hearing the guy, but I think like some of the stuff that had been happening in that house, I didn't necessarily associate with ghosts immediately.
Wasn't fresh in your mind either, I bet. So
yeah.
A lot had happened. I had been to law school. I had become a professor. I had stuffed a lot of stuff in my brain.
Things going on.
Yeah. So anyway, we got the Ouija board and we took it back to our apartment that we lived in. Was in the Kearns neighborhood in Portland, which is an old neighborhood. And we lived in a sort of 1940s single level Mediterranean style garden apartments, which you love to see, like lovely old apartment buildings. And so we took it home and got our neighbors to come over and did a 4-person Ouija seance. And as an adult, I mean, I was 30 something at this point. So as a grown ass person, that Ouija board was the Ouija thing that tells you what letter it is, was moving on its own.
No.
It was moving on its own.
With like no fingers on it?
Yeah, there were fingers on it, but like everybody would pull their fingers away and me when it started moving, because my God, it started moving. And so what do you do when it starts moving? You pull your fingers away.
Yeah.
And it was still moving.
Oh my gosh.
And it said a bunch of things that made us believe about the four of us, like different, like we didn't know each other that well. And the Ouija was telling us things that shouldn't have known.
So it couldn't have been any one of you guys.
Well, that was our thinking at the time.
Yeah.
My gosh. Don't pull your fingers away, pull your whole body away.
Right. Well, subsequently in that apartment, and I think I actually still had the Ouija board until last year when I gave it to Goodwill. But later on in that apartment where the Ouija board was still inhabiting, here's some things that happened.
Okay.
My girlfriend, who was my fiance, who I lived with, had an affair with my neighbor.
Rude.
Like, does that really actually happen to real people? Answer.
No, just
Yes.
on TV.
No, it actually happened to me.
Oh my gosh.
And then she thought, this is just sort of an aside about how terrible this situation is when your significant other starts screwing your neighbor and you're not okay with it.
Oh.
Which I feel like it's fair,
For you to not be okay with it.
I'm not okay with it.
Not okay with it. As an aside, she was like very affronted that I was not okay with her and the neighbor hanging out in our shared apartment and watching a movie, for example.
Wow.
We all know what happens when you watch a movie.
Yeah. You don't need to watch a movie at the same time to both enjoy it, if you know what I'm saying. Correct. So anyway, my fiance had an affair with my next door neighbor, and I ended up moving out of that apartment because it was cursed. So I decided once that happened, once she broke up with me, I guess is what happened. I said I can't live in this apartment anymore because it's cursed because of the Ouija board.
Oh my gosh. Do you think so that's a thing, like if there's a demon in the Ouija board, it messes with your mind and it'll make you think things that like are not your own thoughts. And you're like, you don't know what's happening. So you're like, these are my thoughts, right?
I think it's a possession of sorts.
Yeah.
They're trying to use your body and your facility to communicate in a way that they couldn't as ephemeral forms.
Yeah. They just want to come and cause chaos on everyone's lives.
This is enough chaos for me. We've got another promo roll that we are really excited to share today.
Hello, everyone in podcast land.
Hello! Are you looking for an upbeat true crime podcast? Well, guess what?
You found it. I'm Mary the mom.
And I'm Kylie the daughter.
And we are Sipping with Snapped, a true crime podcast. Join us every Wine Wednesday for a beverage while listening to a tale about someone who has snapped.
Cheers!
Yes, okay.
You guys, we're back. Hi.
A lot of the Southern Appalachian people come from a part of Scotland, a part of Ireland where a lot of Scottish people settled. So they're called the Scotch Irish. And so there's a lot of Scotch Irish in Southern Appalachia, it's in Ulster in Ireland is where that is located. Anyway, we resonate strongly with the tales too of the sort of old Celtic-ish traditions where I come from. And so the idea of people trying to sort of ancestral communication forward is sort of something culturally too, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
That ghostiness feeds into.
Yeah. I think a lot of like the culture from that little sliver of the world definitely believes in like the fairies, and there's I guess a lot of different types of entities and paranormal and all different ways you can label it that sort of is just culturally something that is really significant and something that they really kind of take seriously. Very superstitious.
Like in your blood, it makes you more open to everything.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm not Romany or, I'm not gypsy, sorry. Right. I think resonates really strongly with, I think Ireland, Scotland is kind of right up there.
Right up there. Definitely. I agree. Yeah. Maybe I need a blood transfusion. If it's in your blood, I would like some fresh.
Oh, you're fucked already.
Not so much a monster culture, but definitely a ghost culture. But there are, other cultures are more into monsters or, creepy things that come and steal your babies. And
ooh.
The Irish do have that as a story though too. Like, gosh, what is that called? I think they call them changelings. So they do believe that children and infants can be stolen and then they're replaced by basically, I think that generally they believe that they're fae that try to basically pose as the child. Very interesting premise.
Just a good reason not to have children.
There are so many of those though. As from the childless 47.
Right.
Yeah.
All three of us are like, yep, it's a consensus.
No children. They're creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
There are lots of, not all children are creepy. All children have the potential to be creepy, but they're not all creepy. And, they can be cute. I mean, there are lots of reasons to have kids. I'm not judging. There are lots of reasons not to have kids.
Yeah. Whatever you decide, it should just be what you really want. Everybody has to make that. Yeah. Everybody just has to make that decision for themselves. So I love that other people have children because it really takes a lot of the burden off of, me. Selfishly, I want to love your child. And then after the appropriate amount of time, hand them back to you.
And go sleep because you can.
Yeah. Do whatever I want to do because I can.
That is the privilege of the childless. But, you also have to come face to face with your own absolute mortality. Like people do live on through their children to some extent. So you do have to sort of come to terms with death in a different way, I think, than people with kids do.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I thought maybe I was the only one that was like that morbid in this particular choice. I was like, does anybody else go this dark?
Yeah.
I mean, why do people have kids?
I guess that makes sense.
Part of the reason I have to think is this, because that's the part that sort of bothers me the most about not having kids, is that I don't ever have that feeling of I'm planting a tree today that my progeny are going to enjoy in the future.
Yeah.
And I
wonder
it helps you to have a real nihilistic view of the world. Like it's all going, who the fuck cares? I don't,
It's not going to be here later anyway. So in however many years.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, is there maybe like an adopt a changeling program? You just take one of those that couldn't find a kiddo to inhabit.
I'll have to go to Ireland and Scotland and wander around in the forests looking for the children, because another thing, and I don't know where I'm getting this from, and unfortunately at my age and in the era of reality that we inhabit. I can't remember whether I actually know them or they came from TV shows. So forgive me if this is a plot line. But I think there's a tradition where the children who were different in some way, one way that the community was sort of making this really awful choice of how can we manage the needs of this child, create a sort of cultural myth around if we leave the child in the tree, the fairies will come and get it and take care of it, and it will become a changeling. So I, like I said, I don't know if that came from a TV show or a reputable source of some sort.
No, I think I'm familiar with some of that mythology. And I think that was, I mean, yeah, God, that really takes it to a dark place, but it's like, ooh, we really don't want to deal with this. Can we just put it in a tree and like make up like a spooky story? You guys like good with that?
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Well, it really puts religion in context too, because if we think, to our minds, that sounds pretty kooky.
Right.
Like there are fairies that come and take the disabled child and turn it into a fairy princess. Christianity is not really any less wacky. It's just been presented to us in a very, this is the truth kind of way.
Yeah. I'm tempted to say palatable, but it's the word I want to use, but it's not the right word, if that makes sense.
It's a social norm. It was presented to us in a normative way. Like, this is something you should admire. Yes. This is something you should aspire. So even if you weren't, because I wasn't brought up in the church and I've never gone to church, I was brought up in the Bible Belt by a Southern Baptist family that had gone bad. So I don't know what that means about my religious knowledge. It's probably all bullshit, but it seemed to me some of it was pretty magical.
Oh, yeah.
A little far-fetched sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Just a little.
Yeah. Just a wee bit.
But, there's people living and dying over that stuff right now as we speak.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Everyone thinks that they're right.
When really they just need to get the Ouija board and tell them what the right answer is.
He's trying to start a cult right now.
Oh, no. Did we just start a cult?
Yeah. I think.
Well, we could start our own religion and be tax exempt.
Right. Yeah. I think for the tax benefits alone, it's really worth it.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll do some research on that on our own time and we'll reconvene.
Cult meeting.
Yeah.
I think it has to be at Cassie's house because it's already sort of culted up.
Yeah,
it is. I also have a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Do you?
I do. I have a Ouija board story. I've told Caitlin. It was recent.
Like it.
It was Halloween that this happened.
This year?
Yep.
Just like a few days ago.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's hear it.
All right. So I've had this Ouija board. I got it from Goodwill for like ever. It's kind of one of the cheesy ones. It has like the planchette thing like lights up, glow in the dark or something. So it's more like a toy. I feel like it feels like more like a toy. So I've used it once before. Nothing happened. I was just like, this is kind of horseshit. So we tried it again this year with a couple of friends. Everyone else had gone home. It was just me and two other friends. And Caitlin was gone. She was like, you cannot do the Ouija board while I'm here. I will not have it.
This will be the end of our show.
The cursed show.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we do the Ouija board. Nothing happens. Like one of the people wasn't really taking it seriously. He was just like messing around. So nothing happened, whatever.
He's going to get haunted. He'll be the one that gets haunted.
No.
It's if you don't believe that you get fucked with.
Well, it's me.
It's out there to make you a believer, for sure.
See, I'm a believer, like, of people's stories, but like until it happens to me, I'm just like, nothing's ever gonna happen to me. Like, it's not real. It's fine. So then I do these things and things happen. So everyone leaves.
What?
I know, right? Surprise, surprise. And then I'm like, the candles, I had like little fake candles, like battery powered candles set up, and they're like a twist. So like you twist them all the way and they turn on, you twist them a little bit and they're off. So I'm twisting all the candles off, and then I set them down there on the table by the Ouija board, and I go like in the kitchen to go clean up, and I turn around and there's like one of them is lit back up. And I'm like, okay, like that happens with those twisty ones. Like, I'm sure I just didn't twist it enough. So I went over there and I twisted it off again. I go back in the kitchen, start doing dishes, blah, blah, blah. I talk to my boyfriend in the other room. I come back and the freaking same candle is on again next to the Ouija board. I'm like, okay, one more time. We're just going to go turn it off. It's fine. Everything's fine. I do that. And then this time it had been a while, like probably 30 minutes. And I'm like, I come out back into this room again or something, and the same candle is back on. And I'm like, all right, this is the third time this has happened. I get my phone out and I'm like videoing it. So I take a video and I just say basically what happened. And then I go turn it off, and then I like move them all. I take everything to the other table, and I don't know why. I should have just taken the batteries out of the damn candle. But anyway.
I have so many questions already. Just so
Right.
Well, other things happen. So I go upstairs, get ready for bed. And I'm like getting ready for bed. I'm almost ready. And I'm like, I really need to go downstairs and like get something. So I like get my robe on. I'm like ready. I like go for the handle on the bedroom door to go downstairs. And I'm like, what was I going to go down there for? Cause like that happens, we all do that. We forget. We walk in a room. We're like, what were we doing? And I was like, wait, what could I ever need downstairs? Like, there's nothing down there that I need. I was racking my brain trying to think of this thing that I like really needed, that I needed to put my robe on as I'm like about to get in bed and go all the way downstairs to get. And I could not think of a single thing that I needed down there. And I was like, you know what? I feel like something was like calling me down to get me to like play with the Ouija board again by myself. So I was like, nope, put my robe on, got in bed, went to sleep. Not doing it.
Okay. I'm glad that because this was my primary question, was why didn't you? So I always think I wouldn't ever have. And when you said I came back the second time, gathered up the candles and moved them to another place,
right?
I was like, I would never, ever, like, I would be so freaked out. I wouldn't do that.
Like, why would I not take all the batteries out of the candles right then and there? Like,
or why weren't you running out of the house?
I mean, I don't know. It was just
I don't have any questions. I have matches. You're gonna have to build a new house.
I just thought, technical difficulties.
So you felt okay. You weren't feeling like creeped out until you had that sort of pull feeling downstairs. Now, see, yes. I thought what you were going to say was that you felt this pulling feeling to go downstairs, and you went downstairs and the candles were all lit where you had moved them.
Ooh, nope.
That would have been really creepy.
That was what I was scared of.
Is that what you were scared was going to happen?
Yeah, I was like, that candle's going to be on again. And it actually did light up again the next day. My boyfriend gets up like way before I do. And so when I got up, I asked him, I was like, hey, were any of those candles lit? And he's like, oh yeah, one of them was. I just turned it off. I was like, wait, what?
So not okay.
So now the batteries are out of all the candles. Yeah. Yeah. But I've never had that feeling before. Like I was like, I had to go downstairs. Like I just had to. And I was like, wait, why?
You don't have to.
There's nothing down there that I need or even want. I had my water, I had my chapstick, I had my phone.
All the essential.
There's nothing down there I needed.
So, when you guys were on Friends Talking Nerdy, the podcast that I'm on, that comes out every Saturday and Wednesday and is funny sometimes.
All the time.
It's always funny.
Anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying?
When we were on
when you were on our
show,
we talked about scary movies.
Yes.
So I know that you're into scary movies, Cassie. So I wonder if you've watched the Paranormal Activity movies.
Oh, yes. I love those.
What you're describing sounds like the beginning of one of those movies.
Oh my God, stop.
It really does. And
They recorded it in her living room.
Have you seen Get Out?
Yes. I'm not remembering what it's about though.
It's about, what happens when your house doesn't want you to live in it anymore.
Oh no.
So similar sort of, I'm just thinking about your house and I'm wondering like, how old is your house? What kind of spooky things could be there?
Nothing spooky really happens here though. Like I've lived here a while and
it's the combination though. Like you haven't really had anything happen there, but you pull out a Ouija board on Halloween. I mean, you're honestly, I don't like to point the finger or blame the victim, but like, girl, if you were ever asking for it, that is just, it's an open invitation.
I was asking for it too, dude. Oh my God. I was like, I don't even care if it's a demon, just do something.
No,
you see what I'm working with?
So you really need to implement this sheet routine that I told you about at the beginning of the show. It will help you and protect you. Just remember, right? So if you're laying in bed, you just need to make sure your entire body is covered by some type of sheet or blanket, and that will protect you from any type of paranormal activity.
I will do that.
How I sleep every night.
Nothing has happened since though. So thank goodness. Maybe my crystals scared it away.
Yeah. I'll be able to come visit your house again in a couple of years.
Or maybe it was just because it was like Halloween. So like the doorway or the veil or whatever was thin and
yes, the veil between the worlds.
Yeah, because it was Saturday night and we did it around probably like 11 and then everyone was out by midnight. So all the creepy shit that happened was after midnight. So technically Halloween.
Awesome.
I'm going to try it again next year.
Well, we'll have to see what happens between now and then. This could be a very interesting year for you.
I know, maybe it's just waiting
be.
and lurking around.
I'm going to sage you when you come over this weekend.
No, Damon.
I'm going to give you a good old like crystal body scrubbing.
Okay.
She's like, sassy.
I think that
might have some thoughts about that, but
very expensive treatment in Switzerland, the crystal rub. I mean, we do it with salt, right? Why not do it with like little crystals? You could get your, mystical beauty routine.
Yeah.
I think I could make a lot of money with that idea.
Right? I know. I think we need to get to work on this.
Yeah. Collab. Psychic Aubrey's crystal bath salts.
I'd actually probably buy that.
Yeah.
I get like a really badass illustrator to do like little baby bird skull diagrams.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All of it.
Well, Cassie can vouch for this. I totally would have bought that by like the truckload right around my birthday because whoa, diamonds.
Yeah, you're having a lot of spooky shit happen.
They really like me. They really love to hate me.
Her apartment is haunted. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's sort of a Get Out kind of a vibe a little bit. I think that prior to me moving in here, whatever is here thought that Chris was their boyfriend. So I think they're a little upset. So yeah, I had a
you
series
guys should move. I really
just move.
Your relationship.
We might. We'll see. It's kind of leveled off because we've really kind of taken some drastic measures. I've stopped just shy of having a priest come out and bless the house. So, but yeah, no, I was having like nightmares about like loved ones' deaths. Yeah, just like the super usual, like ghosty stuff, like extra charming, like super
smoke
chill.
Detectors going off for no reason. And
yeah. Weird noises and closet doors opening and closing on their own. Yeah, I mean,
well, so you're
totally
you're pre-haunted. So you really can do anything you want to in there. You could have a seance. You could do the Ouija board because you're already pre-haunted. Like you can't do any worse.
I don't know that we want to say things like that out loud. I feel like this particular energy takes that as a challenge. I know this because the last time I had something really horrible happen was when Chris was kind of, I can't even remember what he said, but it was something to the effect of like, it's not even real. Like, come at me. And I'm like, thanks a lot. It's not going to come at you. It's coming at me. Like,
oh no.
And that was right before I had that experience where I what the fucked out of the shower because closet doors were opening and closing on their own. So,
that's kind of like
you guys both sound like you have more haunted house experience than mine.
Yours is good.
That's all I've ever had. I've really never had anything like this happen before. This is all like very new to me. I always avoid everything spooky. That's why I do the true crime because I can't. No,
it's my fault.
Let me ask you a question though, Kaylin. Do you think that you could be manifesting a fear or concern that you might have? It sounds like you've only recently moved in with Chris.
I've been here for a few months now. So
So,
and it started really like happening pretty much once I was actually living here. It was like it didn't mind when I was sort of like transient in the space. But now that I live here, and it's taken a couple of months, and now like in these most recent couple of months, things have kind of leveled off. I think it's figured it out. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm fighting a losing battle. Like, he's no good for me. I have to let him go.
Aww.
I could be wrong. I'm not issuing a challenge. I want that to be on the record.
that's kind of the stuff of tabloids, right? You could have a great tabloid story about my boyfriend's in love with a ghost, or there's a ghost in love with my boyfriend.
I'm sure that's been a story.
Oh my gosh. I know. And enough about my creepy apartment.
Yeah, I think we're planning an episode on like trying to figure out how to cleanse / figure out what's in her place. So
yeah.
Awesome. Maybe you can get some paranormal investigators to come investigate your apartment.
Yeah. I think we're going to try some DIY investigating.
Oh, is she going to let that happen?
It was her idea.
Wow. Okay, well,
Want to know what it is.
I want to know what it is. Inquiring minds want to know.
Right? Yeah. I want to know what it is. I want to know, is this just like a straight up ghost? Is this, it's been suggested that it might be a succubus, which I have purposefully not done a bunch of research into yet, because just the name alone is, enough. That's like fodder for nightmares for me, but.
Oh, for real.
Do either of you watch South Park?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember the succubus episode?
Yes. What was that song she was singing? I can't remember.
Oh, I can't either, but I'm gonna have to rewatch that episode now because I can't recall.
Oh,
there has to be morning after.
Yes.
You can hold on to the light.
Thank you.
oh my gosh. Thank God.
That's from my amazing co-host, the anchor of Friends Talking Nerdy, Tim Jousma, the sexiest voice in podcasting today.
Yes.
Just gave us that song answer.
Yeah. He needs to come sing that into the mic.
I know. He couldn't see this situation where we were struggling. We were truly floundering and not lend a hand.
He's very chivalrous in that way. Absolutely.
So sweet. Should we have a creepy ass day together?
A creepy ass what?
So at the end of our show, we say have a creepy ass day. And we try to do it together.
I thought you said creepy ass diet together.
Oh no, we're not interested in that.
No, thank you.
No,
I will have normal food.
No, I like all of my trans.
All right, so we're gonna do it all three at once.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna try.
We're gonna try. Usually I count. Usually we're off, but you know what? Even if we're off, I'll fix the audio so that we're all together.
That's amazing.
That's what I had to do last
Very
time.
experienced at that by now. Let me just say.
These are like hardcore skills that you have doing this.
Oh, I just Google how to do things and I do it.
She says that like it's not impressive though. I'm like,
I did a whole house. I renovated a whole house all by myself. Well, I contracted to do it, but I did a lot of the work myself. Anyway, I learned how to do every single bit of it watching YouTube videos.
It's great. It's perfect.
You can really learn to
school
do
anymore.
You don't need school anymore.
that's all I've done for like 7 out of the last 10 years I was in school.
Sorry.
Fuck it, you guys. I'm never doing anything else again. I'm exhausted.
Just learn it on YouTube for free. All right. Thank you so much, Professor. Your stories were great.
So fun.
It was very fun to hang out with you guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
Definitely. We should do it again sometime.
Yeah.
I know. We'll do a tarot reading another time when the reason I didn't want to reschedule to do our recording, but I had a work obligation that came up for the evening, and I'm like, okay, so I think if I so I'm just attempting to teleport myself all over across town like several times today. Ugh. Just to like fill in all of the parts and pieces that need to happen.
Oh,
so we'll do a tarot reading sometime when we have more time.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'd love to. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a creepy ass day.
See you next Tuesday. So for all of you that are listening, if you have any true crime or paranormal stories that you want us to share, maybe with the whole Pacific Northwest.
Yes, we would love to read them on the pod.
Yes, we will read them out loud.
Not just in our heads.
Yes. They don't have to be from the Pacific Northwest if you would like to share. Email us at pnwhuntsandhomicides@gmail.com. It's all spelled out, no special characters. Super duper easy peasy.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Same thing as the email at PNW Haunts and Homicides, all spelled out, no special characters. Please also rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening to, and check out our stories on social media because our meme game is hot.
Agreed.
And if you agree, like Caitlin, you can also find us on Patreon and support the show.
Bitchin'.
Sorry, I just said like right in the middle, like a dumb. This is why we edit, because Cassie gets nervous.
Yeah, she's the only one.
Right. Nobody gets nervous but Cassie in the whole world.
It's true.